What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives back again, and the Tops Knives overviews continue with this little guy here. You guys briefly saw this if you watched the Desert Nomad overview. This is the Street Scalpel 2, model number Y524, if that'll focus for us. This little guy has been on my radar for quite some time, and I haven't really used it whatsoever. During COVID and kind of my time away from YouTube, I continued buying knives, but I didn't really continue using them or testing them or obviously reviewing them. But let's go over some specs real quick on this guy, and then I'll start carrying it around, give you guys a review. So overall length, 7 inches on this one. Blade length is 3.13, so about 3 1/8. And then your cutting edge is 2.75 inches. Blade width is, that's not quite right there. Okay, blade thickness rather is 0.19 inches. So you've got a fairly beefy stock here, but you can see it tapers quickly near that tip. And also the grind is, it's a flat grind that just goes deep into that blade stock thickness. So not that this is going to be the sliciest knife of all time, but you certainly don't have to fight all the way back to that thickness gradually. And obviously this is intended as some sort of personal defense knife, and I'm not one to tell you about personal defense with knives, but it's an awesome design, and I think would make a good EDC fixed blade if you're into that sort of thing. Blade material, no surprise here, is 1095 high carbon steel with their differential heat treat, where they heat treat the edge of the knife to be harder than the rest. So hopefully the rest of the knife is robust and will retain a lot of that strength, while the blade edge will have a little bit more hardness where you need it. You got Tops USA on that side, black traction coating throughout. You have black micarta handle scales, which they do so well. I think these are called Fibrox liners. Get some kind of intermediate material between the blade and the micarta scales. The ergonomics on this are just fantastic. You got a dedicated finger choil up front, and then your other, 3 fingers just kind of fall into place. And for this being a very thin knife overall, it really locks in your hand, which again is for some sort of tactical use, I'm sure. Jimping's great. It's fairly aggressive, but not overly so. This is going to be, a do-it-all EDC fixed blade for me, including, your tactical box cutter, which this is most likely going to be. You have a lanyard hole in the back there, and then an exposed blade tang if you needed to pound a nail in, or some random task like that. And then lastly, let's go over the sheath real quick. This is a phenomenal sheath, and hopefully that remains to be true once I get some good use on this thing. It is Kydex. It has a decently strong detention there, and then you have these I forget what material they call these. They're kind of a faux leather, and I think they're called the beta loops. But they have the pull the dot snaps where you got to pull from that side. It will not open if you pull from this side. No matter if you really crank on it, nothing happens. Flip this around. Flag on one, Tops logo on the other. Grommet holes throughout if you wanted to take these off and lash it to something. But I think this is going to be best carried like this on your person, either in the front or the back in a scout carry, where you can just kind of draw this straight, from the side and then put it back in. I do worry about this retention long term. There is not a lot of material, Kydex material through here that's really grabbing on anything. So, I mean, it's strong, it's not coming out, but, sheaths tend to wear over time and might require a heat gun to kind of remold that and really adhere that knife to the sheath. But pretty sweet looking blade, and one I'm glad I bought, and I really want to start using. So that is the Tops Street Scalpel 2. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, have fun with your knives.